Okay. You know this one. It's a sing-along.
Little darling, it's been a long, long, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles are returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since they've been there. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. There goes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
There we go.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Rachel. The Joyful Noise Choir. Love it. Okay, welcome. We appreciate your attendance here at Unity of the Seacoast. And for you viewers who are home in this cold, but we have warm hearts here at Unity. And we hope to see you someday here live in person. But in the meantime, we hope you enjoy our service this morning. We're going to start our service off with the Daily Word, which is a pamphlet that I read every morning, and I know many of you do as well. And it can be purchased through Unity, a subscription. Well, today our topic is looking ahead. I look ahead with positive expectations. So many things pull at my attention. The things I must attend to, meeting the needs of others, and even my own pursuits and passions require my time and attention. Setting and working towards goals may sound like a dull undertaking, but it's actually an empowering path to spiritual freedom. Working toward a goal helps me focus and keeps me motivated. I call upon and claim my spiritual gifts of imagination in order to set my goal and plan to achieve it. I use my gift of wisdom to discern my best path and my will to make the best choices. This is the way I use the power of God to give my life meaning and make my dreams come true. I look ahead, grateful for God's presence within me. And from the Proverbs, chapter 4, verses 25 through 26. Let your eyes look directly forward, and let your gaze be straight before you. Keep straight the path of your feet, and all your ways will be sure. That comes from directly from the Bible, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25 and 26. Our mission statement today, and if we have it up here, we're going to read it together. Are we ready? Okay. Ready? We are a loving, nurturing community dedicated to being a positive path to spiritual living, to awaken oneness with God within us all. We dedicate this year to a continued awakening of health, wholeness, and prosperity in our lives and the world around us. Okay, those are powerful words, aren't they? They certainly are a calling. We celebrate the fellowship with community and food at 11 a.m., which is directly after the service. So for those of you who are listening and watching us, we hope that at some point you'll join us, not only for worship, but for fellowship and sharing a meal together. We broadcast live on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Visit our webpage at www. I'm not a real techie person. unityoftheseacoast.org. Scroll down to the links for our live services or past services. I think that's a wonderful thing to have the past services that you can check in on that you may not have missed or that you need a reminder. You want to go back and check some of that. That's a wonderful practice. There is also a button which invites you to donate. The blue button welcomes your support of our community outreach. By community outreach, we mean that we have a variety of things that we do beyond just this worship. There may be a family that needs some support. They may need some clothing for their children, things of that nature. This church is an outreach community church, and we celebrate that each Sunday here at worship. So the blue button welcomes your support for that community outreach that I just mentioned and is greatly appreciated. And if you prefer to mail your support in the form of a check, our address is Unity of the Seacoast, UOTS, McConnell Center, Suite 246, 61 Locust Street, Dover, New Hampshire, 03820. And for events that are sponsored by Unity of the Seacoast, please visit our Facebook page, which is www.unityoftheseacoast.org. For instance, tomorrow, February 3rd, 7 p.m. is our first Monday of the month meditation, and the topic is freedom. And that's done by Charlie Richard, who also ministers in our community here with his meditations once a month. We enjoy that. At this time, we'd like to greet each other, and how we do that in unity is to put our hands in prayer forward, and we really look in the eyes of the people that are here in our community and to you out in Techland, wherever you may be. Put your hands together as well. And what we say is Namaste, which means I see the good in you. I see the spiritual nature of you. And it's a wonderful practice. Let's do that now. interesting. Now we have the pleasure of not only seeing, but hearing the Joyful Notes Choir. Once again, let's welcome them.
This is one of Barbara's songs. She wrote and composed this. It's absolutely beautiful.
Pale blue water runs so cold and deep. Ribbons of light won't shine, all my comforts flee. Here I stand alone and broken, a breath my one companion. What of all I've done? Will the newly minted dawn still come? Lord, if I knocked on your door, would you hear me? If I called out your name in the dark, will you help me to see?
Help me to see.
Some days I feel so blind. I'm just hoping to find. Lord, if I knocked on your door, would you hear me? I fear not for what is in you, desires you cannot name. Can what is in best intentions be the same? Oh, my own mistrusted conscience offers no safe guide. My heart is only human, full of fear that burns like fire. Lord, if I broke down tonight, would you heal me? If my spirit can't break through these chains, would you give me the key?
Give me the key.
I've been waiting for a sign, 'cause I know I'm running out of time.
Running out of time.
Lord, if I broke down tonight, would you heal me? I was crashing in the darkness when I saw a light. And then I heard the word, sharp meaning like a knife. Well, I seized the reins of patience, break my fall from grace. I understood the meaning, recognize the face. Lord, if I knocked on your door, would you
Hear me.
If I called out your name in the dark, would you help me to see?
Help me to see.
Some days I feel so blind, and I'm hoping to find. Lord, if I knocked on your door, would you hear me? Some days I feel so blind, I'm just hoping to find. Lord, if I knocked on your door, you would hear me.
Isn't that just beautiful?
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you once again, Rachel, Lynn, and Barbara. A lot of years you've been doing this, and it never gets old. It never gets old. The message always is there. Okay, it's time to get some real education here. I've been in Unity for a long time, and always appreciated the Unity message. And it's not only through song, it's not only through prayer, but it's the courage from our spiritual leaders to instill in us the hope and the joy and the wonderful feelings that we get of being a Christian community here. And the person that I want to call up to speak to us today is a person that is not only talking the talk, but he walks the walk. And so many of us can learn from his messages, from his heart that is inspired by his God, which we share with each other. So at this time, I'd like to call up our spiritual leader, Tom Scheinler.
Thanks, Ernie. I love you, my friend. Good morning, everyone. For those at home, good morning. We enjoy that you're here with us, doing a little housekeeping. Before I start, I want to tell you that one of our members, Joy, was in an accident this week. There's a card up here to sign, but if you can keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and also her friend Marlene, who is in Mass General? Yes. Mass General. It was a severe accident, and we know they happen. We hope never to be in one, but now and then they do. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Our T-shirts in the back are in. If nobody's picked up theirs, please pick them up. Some of the sizes I noticed aren't quite what we ordered, so I'll do a reorder and get those sizes. But there's a few back there. So if you want an extra one or however it works, let us know. Tracy is home with RSV. So she is getting stronger, but she's still taking her time to rest to, not to pass it on, but also to get her strength back. And Tracy, we love you. Joy, we love you. Frank is home not feeling well. So Frank, we love you and miss you. And Ginny stays with him to take care of him. So Ginny, we love you and miss you. Barbara, that song might have been the best song. I mean, the way you guys interacted and played off you, I was sitting back there, and I just could not believe how well that came across, and what a beautiful song. Thank you. Thank you. We hear her play every week, and we don't realize what a great talent is until she decides to show off. And I love those moments. Surely the presence is something that we recite here at the beginning of each service. And surely the presence goes along with unity principle number 1, that there's only one presence and power and active in the universe and in my life, and that's God. We sing it because, at least to me, it means something. I hope to you. Churches get in the habit of doing things very ritualistically, and you forget the meaning of them. Same with Namaste. Namaste is like the Hawaiian aloha back in the 80s. But it's a really deep meaning phrase. So when you say namaste to someone, don't take it lightly. Don't just go, hey, namaste. Really look at them and see them for who they are. The daily word. For those who don't get the daily word, it's really a great way to start your day. I get it sent to my email. And it just lifts me up in the morning. It's something that I can read and ponder. And it's also a way of feeling like we're part of a larger church. You know, we get these things sent to us. We don't always feel that we're connected to Unity Worldwide Ministries, and we are. But this is a good way to do it. And I think I've covered all my pre-stuff. Today's talk is on forgiveness. I've been doing steps on how to get whole and healthy, and the beginning steps are letting your mind be open and relaxed and not dealing with the stress of life. You know, we did gratitude. What did I do last week? Gratitude. Oh, or the week before. Maybe this is, yeah. Anyway, and then next week will be affirmations, which will cover release and denials and affirmations. But this week is forgiveness. And it's another topic I do a lot, but I just love this topic because it's had a big meaning and impact in my life. All three of these steps have changed my life for the better. You know, so last week I did gratitude. Never underestimate the power of gratitude. I mean, look at how many times Jesus gave thanks for all. He gave thanks before prayer, before feeding the masses. And we've discussed last week the benefits of giving thanks. But he also forgave. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. One of his last acts before being crucified was to forgive. As well as he has the passage to forgive 77 times. So clearly this is an important part of who he was, as well as his understanding of the benefits of these things, of forgiveness. You know, he forgave those who were killing him. I mean, that is amazing during the process of being killed. I don't know if you remember when Odin Lloyd was murdered by Aaron Hernandez. His mother forgave Aaron Hernandez. I mean, that's just so immense. And I think about that, and I think, what do I got that's so big that I can't forgive? You know, we carry anger with us. And we know, and science has proven, how stress harms us. You know it. You feel your chest tighten up. You feel it in the back and the neck. It weakens our cells. Our immune system gets weaker. Our autoimmune system is weaker. We don't recover well. Our bodies are vulnerable to illness, to mental illness. And we're less productive, and we're not enjoying our lives on the way that we should. And we also know the benefits of a lower stress life. So our body reacts positively, and we can function on a higher level. We have focus, we have concentration, we have more stamina, we have more interest in life. Life has flavor. Depression is lower. We feel better in all aspects of our lives. And we feel better when we're hanging out in groups, when we're not carrying anger. And we get to share joyful moments with our friends and relatives and family. And I've told you guys the story of my relationship with my father. I was left feeling I did not matter to him. And I find when I do these talks, I need to do the forgiveness process again. You know, I can tell you about working on his homes or being in need. I can tell you how many times I supported him during the winters in Florida when he didn't want to work. I can tell you the cars I let him use only to never get them back again. I have a decent list of things that kind of hurt me. And at the same time, he seemed to take extra care of other members of my family. And I carried these stories with me for years, and they still pop up now and then. And I mean a lot of years. And I refused to cry when he died. I did little to talk about him. And at the time, when I felt little when I received the call that he was dead in the car. And emergency people were working on him, trying to revive him. And I just shut it down. I was working on a brick wall at my mother's house. And I went out back and just continued working on the wall. Maybe in a way that's symbolic because I was constructing the wall between me and him. I had spoken to him a month before he passed, and we argued. And I felt good that I ended the call with, "I love you." It was like a self-righteous victory for me. And I'd been a better person. I thought I'd been the better person up to the end of his life. A little side note, when I was maybe 14 or 15, I went down to Florida to visit my brother. And I talked to my father on the phone. And I ended the phone call, "Bye, Dad." And my brother's girlfriend said to me, "You didn't say you loved him." He knows. And she goes, you never know when it's the last time you're going to speak to him. And that really resonated with me. So every conversation I had, I ended with, "I love you." And then so my last words to my father was, "I love you." So I swore, and I knew somehow when I run into my brother's ex-girlfriend, I was going to thank her for that. Now I was living in Massachusetts. She was down in Florida. But I went down to Florida because my brother was in a coma, and I sat with him. And he died, and we had a little memorial service, and then we went to this bar to just kind of sit around. Got a huge table, and we all had stories about my brother. And in walks this lady, and she walks up to me, and she goes, "John?" Because I look a lot like my brother. I go, "No, John was my brother." She goes, "Oh my God, Tom." And it was his girlfriend. It was his ex-girlfriend. So I got to thank her for that. So take notice in your life the moments that have impact on you. I don't know how you get to thank the people, but thank them when you can. I was so grateful to be able to thank her, especially in that moment. She sat down and joined the table, and we exchanged stories. And it was quite an amazing day. And back to my dad. I was not going to forget the way I felt about kind of feeling neglected. And I never can understand it or get the answers that I deserved, that I thought I deserved. I thought about what I was doing to myself. And again, I wouldn't get the answers from him. My brother had similar stories. He was older than me. And he escaped the dynamic early. He joined the service. He lived at a friend's house before that. Came to live with us and joined the service. And he gave of himself to my father, too. My father went down to Florida. My brother gave him the apartment to stay in. Covered the rent for a while. And, he never felt like that appreciation for being his son, similar to what I felt. And one of the last things my brother wanted, and left it in a note that we found, was to get even with all the people who treated him less than and made him feel insecure. Imagine carrying that around your whole life. And he was a bad drinker, bad drug user. And all those years of his life where addiction robbed him of the life that he deserved, all because he didn't have the coping skills to put those things behind him. And one day, Reverend Diane had told me that I should do a forgiveness ceremony. And it wasn't really a ceremony. I was driving from Florida to New Hampshire, and she said I should stop by my father's grave, which is in Belleville, New Jersey. I had no idea what I was going to say. And she said, if my heart was in it, you'll find the words and the feelings to match. He was buried with his parents and his sister about 4 miles away from where he grew up, an area that I played in as a kid. And I got to the grave, and it was raining, but it was warm. And I had no idea what I was going to say. And nothing seemed to come to me. So I walked to the car, got my guitar out, and I played a song. And he had never heard me play. He didn't know that I played guitar. Because I picked it up like 19 years after he passed away. And so I sat there and I played. And then something settled into my brain. Something happened. I realized that I knew so little about him and what shaped him. And I knew my grandparents, but I didn't know how they raised him or what scared him or anything. Was he taught how to be a dad? Was he just trying to get through, make it up as he went? I never knew what emotional things triggered him. I had my issues, and I personally wanted forgiveness. So why couldn't I offer that? If I want it for myself, I have to be able to give it to others. You know, if he never learned to be happy, how is he going to teach me to be happy? If he didn't know how to be a dad, how is he going to teach me? And he once told me, and we were talking about God and heaven and all that, said he believed in heaven, but hell is the life that we're living now. Thought that'll cheer a kid up. But we each have our own issues, yet somehow we expect others to be on target the whole time. We have our insecurities, we have envy, and we have jealousness. We have anger, and we are self-centered, and we do things to compensate for what is wrong in our lives, and we hurt others, especially those closest to us. And I know I've done that. My parents knew nothing about being a parent when they started a family. My dad probably married the first girl that he dated after he got out of the service. Maybe the second, I don't know, but my mom probably married the first guy who showed her a bit of affection, because she had a father who took off on her and a mother who was not around, for the most part, had no interest in her. Nana, as she was called, she adored her twins. She had younger twins, my Aunt Patty and Uncle Clark. And you guys know I've talked about my aunt so much. But she took no real interest in my mom. And my mom did crappy things in life. And my dad did crappy things in life. At least from the way he treated me. He took great care of my sisters. And I don't know why that is. And I don't know why my mother did some of the things that she had done. My mom lived long enough for her and I to get to a great place. But she didn't do that with everyone. Just like my dad, she was not in a great place with some of my sisters when they passed. And in my life, I've done things that I'm not happy about. I learned on the fly how to be a dad and a husband. I was never taught to be happy. I had to learn it all through life. I had to go through my depression and struggling. And I had to learn all these things. And I certainly wanted people to forgive me. So knowing all that and thinking about all that, how could I not forgive my father? He's no different than me. He was just trying to make it through life. Ephesians 4:32. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgive one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. So the words came to me, and I was able to forgive my father. I was not going to get the answers. I had to create a story that I can live with, because carrying that anger was not helping me. And I carried that anger since I had been 12. It was time to let it go. It didn't mean that I would forget those things, because I needed to understand those things so I could be a better father and husband. You don't have to forget a lot of stuff, especially if you're the person who needs forgiveness. Remember the things that was off your mark, but forgive yourself for it. I once heard someone talking about how long do you make up the things that you need forgiveness for, the things in life that you've done to others. And the answer was until tomorrow's tomorrow, meaning you don't stop, that you make sure that the bad behavior never bubbles up. You make sure in your present moment that you are trying to be that person you are meant to be. You live up to your best standards. And if you can do that, then the part of forgiving others becomes easy in the same way that you expect forgiveness for yourself. And I tell you these stories as a reminder that we all have these stories. We all have those who we feel we've done things to in our lives, and those who we think have done things to us. Things that may just be downright terrible, and things that just miss the mark. And it could be anyone that you've harmed or harmed you. It could be your boss, a stranger, a relative. And often we're not going to get the answers that we need, but we don't have to carry that anger around with us. As much as we feel that we have the right to, and you're correct, and you harm me, so I'm going to not forgive you and the rest of my life. The only one you're harming is yourself. You don't have to hang out with that person anymore. You just have to let the weight of it go. And we get this self-righteous feeling when I'm going to carry that anger. There's a certain payoff, but there's not a payoff. You're really hurting yourself. Again, stress hurts. And the other thing is, if you believe, like we talk about, thoughts in mind bring about in kind. If you're feeling anger, you're going to attract anger. You're going to notice more things that tick you off. You get cut off in traffic, and you're going to be short-tempered. Someone took your parking space. Short-tempered. None of these things matter. But we attract these things when we are attracting anger, because we're holding anger, and it's like a magnet. So we need to release that anger and release that self-righteousness. And again, we're humans. We're all going to have these things that trigger and pop up in your mind. And you'll need to do the process over and over again. Again, each time I do a talk on forgiveness, I have these things that well up, and I have to go through the process over and over. There's that story in the Bible when Peter approached Jesus about forgiveness. Matthew 18:21 through 22. And Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who has sinned against me? And he says, up to 77 times. Or up to 7 times. And Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. And what he's saying is that you need to forgive over and over again, because it will pop up. It will hit you at the dumbest moments when you don't expect it. It'll hit you 3 in the morning when you can't sleep. But you do these things because you release us. And Jesus is always talking and teaching us ways to have a meaningful life, happy lives, to be whole. And that's what we do here. And that's what practical Christianity is about. And when I talk practical Christianity, I have my own version of it. I don't expect you guys to believe my version of it. I want you to believe how you believe. If you're Catholic, stay a Catholic. If you're Jewish, stay a Jewish. But these are lessons that help us in our everyday lives. And I talk about the way it helps me in my everyday lives. And hopefully you get the message, at least from what it means to me, and know that you can take your beliefs and your lessons from the Bible and use them in your life. You don't have to quote the Bible. You don't have to quote, I kind of do because I'm up here, and they tell you to do that. But you have to find a message that resonates with you on a personal level to help you to live your life today. And forgiveness is a big lesson. Set down that anger. Wipe off that dust from your feet. And then there's the other side of forgiveness, and that is forgiveness of ourselves. When I forgave my parents, I had only done half the job. I needed to forgive myself for judging them so harshly. I probably did things in my life to them and said things out of the anger I was carrying that they didn't deserve. I never allowed room for understanding. I never allowed the time to see their viewpoint. My anger and disappointment skewed my treatment of my parents. And again, I'm so lucky that by the end of my mother's life, we sorted those things out. But I was never able to do that with my dad. And we've all had those moments that we've lost our sheen. We've said things or acted in ways that we regret. And we think of these moments and we cringe. And we often overlook the need to forgive ourselves. Even though we know the line, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. We focus on forgiving others, and we carry anger, any anger, and we're harming ourselves. And it will bubble up in ways that you don't want. We don't forgive others, we're not rising to our best selves. We may feel that we're bad or that we're less than as well for the things we've done. But we don't have to be that person. We can accept who we are and what we are and forgive ourselves. One time I was told, Tom, perhaps the person that you show the world is more the person than you tell yourself on the inside. And that resonated because I try and show people my best self. And when I was depressed, the inside and outside weren't meshing. And I had to learn to let go of those moments, to forgive, to become happy, to be the person that I'm showing the world. And I think that's an important lesson for everyone. When you meet others, you show them your best self. You make a point of just being kind and loving. You don't walk up to someone, you stupid. And, you tell them, you treat them with just such grace and honor. Treat yourself with grace and honor. Forgive yourself. Don't keep beating yourself up because that's not who you are. Wow. Didn't print the last page. Huh. Yeah, so, yeah, forgive myself for not doing that. But forgiveness, I always think we carry like a backpack full of rocks, and each rock is something that we can forgive others or ourselves for. Start throwing those rocks out of your bag. Make your load lighter. There's no need to carry any of that around. And then go back and be grateful for the life and the lessons that you've learned. And affirm that. And release the things that don't work. Again, I'll never get the answers that I want to get. And maybe I don't need to. Maybe if he was to explain it, it wouldn't make sense. And other people may have harmed you, and you might not know why. And then be horrible things or not so horrible things. And you're never going to get the answers. But allow yourself to say, I don't need them. I can set them down. I can forgive. Again, if Jesus can forgive those who are killing him while they are killing him, our Odin Lloyd's mother can forgive Aaron Hernandez after being convicted for murdering her son. What's my God? It's so big that I can't forgive. And I'm going to end that there. Thank you.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with my heart. I will be gentle with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I will love myself like a newborn baby child. child.
Wow, those words spoken could have been a great meditation. Another perfect choice, Barbara. I'd like to start with prayers of the people. At any time in our lives, there are people who are struggling with illness, mental illness, struggling to be brave, struggling just to get out of their house. They may be oppressed. Right now, they may be ripped away from their families and deported. People who have fear. People who are going through the fires. People in Sudan who were killed in the market last week. The people on the plane that crashed. And all the loved ones who feel their loss. And I affirm that we see them whole and healthy and happy. We see them in their best light. And we send our loving energy to them. And to those who have power over other people, we send them light and love. We send them empathy and compassion to treat people with love and justice and allow each person to flourish in their life. Do this in God's name. And so it is. Amen. I'm going to ask you to get comfortable, get in your whatever comfort zone you're at, and take in a deep breath and develop your breathing pattern. So we go in and out. We focus on our essence, that area deep within us, where we connect with the world around us, where our essence is God, and we are inherently good. And our essence is the Christ within us. Remember, Christ is not a name. It is a state that we attain by being the best of us. It is that spark of divinity that we each have. I'd like you guys to think of what makes up your best self. And see that as a glowing ember deep within. The more that we think about it, the more that ember grows to a bright ball of light that is within us and around us. It's that ball of light that we connect with others. From that light, we offer love and hope From that light, we greet each other with a smile. From that light, we have empathy and compassion. From that light, we see every one of us as equals. From that light, we are grateful. From that light, we forgive. From that light, we let go of all our insecurities and doubts. From that light, we are whole. We are healthy. We are complete. And we are happy. I invite you to come back to me. And I hope through the week you can always find a happy moment that you can just bring up when you're not feeling 100%. Remember how it felt to get a certain gift or a smile from someone. You each have those moments. And make sure you can bring them up now and then. That's what they're there for. To help keep you strong and loving and happy. Next, we'll do the prayer of tithes and offerings, and Ernie, if you can do the collections.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be blessed. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be blessed. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be blessed. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy.
Please recite the prayer of tithes and offerings with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. Join us for the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. Thank you guys so much, and join us for the Let There Be Peace on Earth song.
The peace song.